plan to rescue Hitler. There's no question that by middle 1943, it was obvious that Germany was going to lose the war, and by middle 1944, it was absolutely definite that Germany was going to lose the war. Italy had changed sides. There was no cooperation to speak of between Germany and Japan. Japan was a weak ally, and it was all falling on Germany. They were going to lose. There was no question about it. So the escape of Adolf and Eva Hitler in late April, early May 1945 was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. There had been meetings of the military hierarchy in late 1943 and onward, and the scientists and technical people had to be evacuated as well. In late 1943, I believe it was, there was a meeting at the Hotel Maison Rouge of many of the industrial leaders. They were going to find a way to get their empires out of Europe as well. Details have now surfaced in Europe recently that there were Europeans visiting Bariloche before the end of the war in order to find precise information before the Axis fell to the Allies. San Carlos de Bariloche was just a little dinky town on the shore of Lake Nahuelhuapi in those days. Today it's a huge, big tourist place, 150,000 people roughly. But at that point, it was a great place to hide Hitler. There was only one entry to the finger of the lake where Hitler lived at Inalco, and it was guarded on both corners, on one by the Saracen Tower, on the other by a bunker. Each one had a couple of platoons, maybe a company or more of men. Their only job was to watch for things, float planes or boats, going up that finger of the lake where Inalco was located. Today we know there's a travel system in place called the Rat Line for thousands of people to escape Europe and head for South America, primarily Argentina. The German plan was far more complete than we know. It was more than just saving people. The overall plan had the name Operation Regentropfen, which means raindrops, and it was considered by strategists as a surface operation and had many networks to save the German people and hierarchy and the German finances. There were two actions that made up Regentropfen. One was Viking, and the other one was Läufer, which means runner. The Viking action is more important to us. It determined the moving of elite scientists, politicians, and military personnel of the Third Reich out of the crumbling Europe, and they were taken to a safe place, which began with San Carlos de Bariloche. The coordinator of this entire operation, there's a name you can't get away from with anything: Martin Bormann. He was in charge of the whole works, and he escaped to South America as well. I know the history says he got killed in a gun battle, a tank battle, a firefight near the train station, and some years ago they dug up his bones and they proved absolutely they were Martin Bormann, but they didn't have any explanation how there was red Paraguayan clay in the niches and crevices of the bones. We'll go into that at a later time, but Martin Bormann did not die at the end of World War II. He died in 1958, but that's another whole story. Call us 352-637-2917 to order your book, or go to www.sharkhunters.com, go to shop and into books, or just go on Amazon. We're everywhere. Order your book now and be reading in a couple of days.